With just 150 days away from the UFL 2026 season kickoff, there is still a lot that needs to be done. But before we get any further into this, I want to thank Steven Johnson for his commitment to the channel and being a member of the channel. And then, of course, if you're not so already, you can support the channel for only $1 a month. Hit that subscribe button, or you can send in a super thanks to us to support the channel. But the biggest way to support the channel and get entered into winning 2 season tickets to the 2026 UFL season of a team of your choice is to hit that subscribe button below and hit the like button. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away that ticket. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. So again, 150 days away. Is that enough time for the league to be successful for 2026? I kind of am a hit or miss on this one. So we know head coaches and coaching staff are, in my opinion, one of the main things that need to happen before we can move forward with the overall season. Because without that, it's kind of hard to still sign players, pick players and stuff like that when we don't know if there is a coaching staff in place. We don't know when that's happening. Mike Repole on social media has talked about this, but there is no real answer to it. It said later in the year that we would see this. Collegiate draft. Who knows if this is even happening? To be honest with you, we heard it kept getting delayed. It was going to be delayed until the teams were finalized. Well, now, of course, when you look at the rosters with the new regional player strategy that they're implementing, that kind of puts this at a little bit of a halt. We don't know if this is truly the case of what's happening here, but this could all be round into the same situation with the regional player strategy, the collegiate draft, and everything like that. Will we ever get a collegiate draft? I don't know at this point. I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that we will not, and that is kind of put off at this point. Of course, uniforms for all 8 teams. We'll be talking tomorrow on a video that's already recorded that will go up tomorrow on Wednesday, talking about uniforms and potentially the loss of Under Armour and what all those changes look like. We'll talk about that. Then, of course, rule changes. Is there going to be any rule changes for the 2026 season? We have heard Mike Repole kind of talk about trying to change up everything for the league to get it to where he envisions the league. So could that mean rule changes are coming? There is a big possibility for that. But again, that's another thing we stand by and are waiting on. Then, of course, the schedule. We know the schedule will not be out until the new year, at least in January. And with my calculations at this point, we're 150 days away right now. The schedule should be, if my calculations are right, about 75 to 85 days prior to the season. That, in my opinion, is the worst decision, but they have a lot of factors that go into this with MLS, the schedule there, and things like that that are conflicting them, especially with them moving into more MLS and soccer stadiums. That is going to be an issue, at least maybe for the foreseeable future. We could actually kind of see that wrap up a little bit. One, if MLS decides to change their schedule, that's a big possibility that's been talked about. The other big part to that is if they have these long-standing contracts with these new venues, there's a possibility that MLS will work more with the UFL and Mike Repole to get dates secured earlier, so they're not having to worry about waiting till the MLS schedule is released. And of course, last but not least, we're currently waiting on marketing, advertising, and tickets. Now, here in a second, we'll talk about season tickets because we've got a big announcement on that coming up here in just a moment. But marketing and advertising has started. There's been billboards throughout Orlando scene for the Orlando Storm. We know St. Louis has had their mascot with the Battle Hawk out and about at parades, at events. We've heard Birmingham has been doing the same thing. We're starting to see these little bit of grassroots efforts start ramping up in the markets. I still don't think it is enough, obviously, but we'll keep an eye on that. I think that'll be a big piece, obviously, with the marketing and advertising that rolls back into that regional player strategy of getting local players from local colleges within a 100-mile radius. That could be a big factor to draw more fans into the game, especially in like Ohio, Alabama, and those locations that really have that college presence that is pretty big within the overall perspective of the league and how they'll get that rolling. But let's move on, because let's talk about tickets, because this is a big thing today. 150 days, and we officially have the three prime stadiums in the UFL that we're not moving around, we're not new locations, have officially launched season tickets. We've got the full breakdown for you. Let's go first to Birmingham, Protective Stadium, and I'm kind of disappointed. I'm not going to lie here. Why is there only these sections available? Come on, UFL. I know it's a uphill battle at this point, but as you can see here, tickets range from $67.50 to $540. Now, keep in mind, before we go any further and you start rage quitting the video or typing, this is for season tickets. This is not individual games. So as you can see, it goes from light blue to purple. The lowest per game is... technically speaking, the way it's weird how this is labeled. So you've got your lowest section, which is green, in the end zone for $67.50, which resorts to $13.50 a game. You have your next section up, which is the $117.50 for the gold level. Those are your side areas, 110 through 107, 143 through 140. Those are $117.50, averaging $23.50 a game. Not bad. And then you move up to the next section, which is blue. That is 106, 105, 104, 146, 145, and 144. Those sections, $145, $29 a game. Can't go wrong with those seats there. Then you move on to the red section, which is or light blue section, which is your higher point, $312 and 50 cents, averaging, I believe it's $62.50 per game. If I can see that right here on the screen, that is going to be your end zone, the lower section of Protective Stadium. I do believe some of those areas do have other amenities to them. From my understanding, stadium club access and all-inclusive food and beverages, which is included in red and purple only. And when we move on to red and purple, the red, $515, averaging $103 per game. That includes stadium club access and all-inclusive food and beverage, which is a great deal. And then, of course, purple, $540 per season ticket, averaging $108 per game. Again, same thing with the stadium club access and all-inclusive food and beverages. Excuse me. Now, of course, with the season tickets for the Stallions, I will note there's something very interesting I'll point out here. I don't have them up on the screen here, but perks and discounts, season ticket member gift, ticket exchange program, subject to availability. I assume that'd be exchanging tickets you're not using. Price savings versus single game tickets, of course. Flexible renewal payment options. Exclusive experiences, invite to exclusive season ticket member events, priority access to VIP game day experiences, subject to availability, invite to select player, coach, league staff, meet and greet events if applicable, priority access, same great seat for every game, priority access to UFL postseason tickets before general public, exclusive season ticket member only entrances, and exclusive season ticket member newsletter. Now, one thing I have 100% looked into all this. There is something missing off this that has been literally since going back to the XFL in 2020, and I even think the AAF in 2019. There is nothing about a perk or priority access on this to the same price next season in 2027. That's kind of alarming because to me, that either indicates tickets are going up in price next year or will fluctuate in some form or fashion where they're not guaranteeing you're getting those same rates. That is quite a bit of a bummer in a way because that was a nice feature for any fan to guarantee that they're going to have essentially tickets for those locations at the same price next year, and that is not happening, at least at this point in time. Then we move on to the next market, which is the DC Defenders at Audi Field. This one here, obviously, as you can see, ranges from $100 to $760 for season tickets. Lime green area at $100, averaging $20 per ticket. This is a safe standing only, no seat zone, which is usually where the Beer Snake is. So you can get Beer Snake area tickets for very cheap for season. And then it ranges up from there. You have 125, 150, 205, 285, 375, 400, 530, 635, and 760. Now, of course, navy through light blue at the top there, 530 to 760 do include club access, all-inclusive food and beverage for those games. So keep those in mind as well, DC fans. Now, of course, I do not have ticket prices from last year, so I'm not 100% sure the main difference in here, but there's a lot of great options for very cheap seats that are very comparable to the XFL in 2020 with how much they were going per game. And that can definitely be said for the St. Louis Battlehawks as well, who is the third market that is currently on sale. But real quick, before I go any further, I did forget. Let me go back to the season tickets for the DC Defenders. They do have quite a bit of different things that the Stallions had for their perks. Perks and discounts, season ticket member gift, ticket exchange program. I'll just kind of read out here what is different. They do have flexible renewal payment options, partner discounts. That is not part of the Stallions one. They do have a dedicated member in stadium entry line, kind of like the Stallions have with a different season ticket thing. Guaranteed pregame field access. Invite to exclusive season ticket member events. Priority access to UFL postseason tickets before the general public, exclusive season member, team member, or season ticket member newsletter, and of course, same great seats for each game. Again, these kind of vary per location, per team of what is offered, but let's move on to the final one, which is St. Louis, averaging $95 to $915 per ticket for the season. A lot of options here. It may be a little bit hard to see on the screen here, but I'll put all the links in the comments below. So with the Battlehawks, obviously, the lowest is $95, which averages out to $19 per game. Upper level 101, 126 through 129, 152 through 154, and it goes up from there. 125, 135, 165, 215, 215, 225, 240, 345, so on and so forth. Again, a lot of options for the Battle Dome in St. Louis for you fans, and if I'm not mistaken, that lower price of $19 is very close to the XFL in 2020 price at $18.25 a ticket. So very good on the UFL for having pretty decent ticket prices in this. As for the Battlehawk season ticket member benefits, nothing really looks different here. There is an invitation to select virtual meets with the coaches, which is kind of weird. Meet and greet events with player and coaches, invite to exclusive season ticket member events, partner discounts, flexible renewal payment options. So, I mean, you have a lot of these options that are with the other one, but overall, I think it is going to be a great season, and you can buy your season tickets now. Now, of course, when we are talking about that season ticket giveaway, we are just over or under, I would say, 105 people away at this point from the season ticket giveaway or getting entered into it. That'll be 2 season tickets up to, I believe, $200 based on the location. That could kind of fluctuate depending on the location and everything like that. But again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. A lot of people don't know they're not subscribed, so hit it. You'll be notified of any videos, including the one coming up tomorrow, talking about the Under Armour contract that most likely has ran out, and what thoughts are on going for jerseys, uniforms, merchandise, and things like that. We'll talk about on this show tomorrow. Stay tuned. It'll be early in the morning. I'll be posting that, and we'll see you back here on the flip side. Let me know if you have any comments, what your thoughts are heading into 2026, and what else you think needs to be done before it can be a truly successful year for the UFL. We'll see you back here on the flip side. Have a great one, everyone.